can't believe he remembered.
Number 10. Newsboy caps. Britney Spears. Somehow, the fads of the early aughts are actually coming back into style, despite it being pretty universally acknowledged as a dark moment in fashion history. That and the fact that they were first worn by their namesakes in the late 19th and early 20th centuries make the newsboy cap quite the interesting item of clothing. One of the biggest culprits when it came to starting some of the 2000s' biggest trends was, of course, pop princess Britney Spears. One of the most unlikely fads she popularized was the newsboy cap, which we're pretty sure no one could have predicted becoming the it accessory for teen and tween girls. But hey, Britney managed to make them look good. They also came in a variety of fabrics and materials. Number 9. Contouring. Kim Kardashian. Let's start by saying that Kim Kardashian by no means invented contouring.
And I'll use the lighter color just as contour down my nose, and I always do the tip of my nose because it just shortens your nose and makes it look so cute.
The practice had been around for decades, as early as the 1920s and 30s, and there are even examples of it being used centuries before. Contouring is often used in the drag community to create that perfectly snatched look.
I mean, my theory with contour is I always go kind of in like a 3, so I'll kind of just go down and like this.
But when Kim K made it part of her everyday beauty routine, the public took notice and decided they wanted their own sculpted cheekbones and shaded jawlines.
I'm using the Tom Ford Shade and Illuminate in number 1. You want to go right along the hollow of the cheek, suck in your cheekbones. Right along the hollow, right there.
Contouring had a major moment in the mid-2010s, but has lately been drifting out of style in favor of a more naturally bronzed look without any harsh lines or shadows. Number 8. Off-the-shoulder sweaters and leg warmers. Jennifer Beals.
Actually, they're very close. It's just the next life this planet over. Really, it was pretty boring. Except for maybe music.
Sometimes celebrities kick off fashion trends with their personal style, but other times it's what they wear on screen that makes the biggest impact. In Flashdance, actress Jennifer Beals wears a few now iconic accessories, including leg warmers during the final dance. She also memorably wears a sweatshirt that droops off of one shoulder. The same gray top ended up on the movie's poster, and in many ways has come to exemplify 80s fashion.
He said to me, if you close your eyes, you can see the music.
In fact, the famous sweatshirt actually has a funny story behind it. The item of clothing actually belonged to Beals herself, and it shrunk in the wash, forcing her to cut the neck hole open so it would fit comfortably. And thus, a piece of fashion history was born.
Don't you want some pizza?
Number 7. The Miami Vice look. Don Johnson and Philip Michael Thomas.
5,000 street corners in greater Miami, and Gumby here's gotta pick ours.
In Miami Vice, Don Johnson played James Sonny Crockett, while Philip Michael Thomas acted as Ricardo Rico Tubbs, both of whom are undercover Miami detectives. Their styles would go on to revolutionize 80s menswear and inspire young men everywhere to update their wardrobes.
I don't give a damn if it's a USS Enterprise, pal, or who's on it or why. Our job is to rock it, and if it sinks, so what?
Their outfits were characterized by their sock-free loafers, their t-shirts under Armani blazers, and of course, their Ray-Ban sunglasses.
Look, I'm your partner, man. You need anything, I'm here.
Thanks, pal.
You got it.
The look was hugely influential, with Macy's opening a Miami Vice section in their young men's department, and Kenneth Cole creating a line of Crockett and Tubbs shoes. In 1984, the model 2052 Ray-Ban Wayfarers that Crockett wore sold a whopping 720,000 units.
Yo, Jimmy, my man, what's shaking? 8 o'clock? Terrific.
Number 6. The miniskirt. Jean Shrimpton. It's not often that you can point to the specific moment in which a trend came to be, but in the case of the miniskirt, we can. The origins of the short skirt look can be traced to October 30th, 1965 at Melbourne, Australia's Flemington Racecourse. English model Jean Shrimpton showed up to Derby Day wearing a white dress designed by her dressmaker Colin Rolfe. What made the look stand out was the fact that the hem fell 4 inches above her knee, which at the time was considered to be scandalously short. In fact, the entire thing happened by accident when Rolfe didn't have the right amount of fabric to complete the intended design. But thanks to her mini dress, the miniskirt was inadvertently presented to the world, and the rest is history. Number 5. Leather Moto jackets. Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson is a controversial figure, and there were plenty of issues in his personal life, but we cannot deny the major influence that the king of pop had on the fashion industry during his time in the spotlight.
What's the problem? Come on, I'll take you home.
The singer helped usher in a new era of menswear that involved a lot more flash, showing that dudes do not have to stick to boring suits or jeans and t-shirts. One of the most memorable items he often wore was a Moto style leather jacket. He wore this style in many different iterations over the years, with chains and zippers, in different shades and so on. It is especially popular again these days in women's wear. Number 4. Menswear for women. Diane Keaton.
I don't know. I wasn't...
In 1977, Diane Keaton appeared in the titular role of the film Annie Hall, sporting menswear styles that would become synonymous with her personal look. The fashion was reportedly based on Keaton's own wardrobe, with on-set costumers initially doubting that the look would work for the romantic comedy.
I love what you're wearing.
Oh, you do? Yeah? Oh, well, this tie is a present from Grammy Hall.
She wore vests, ties, high-waisted trousers, and jaunty hats, resulting in an androgynous look that broke barriers in the 70s and still looks incredibly chic today.
But the thing is that he falls asleep and he never wakes up, so he's dead.
Even after decades of being in the public eye, Keaton remains a style icon and keeps defying expectations for how women should dress. Number 3. The Little Black Dress. Audrey Hepburn. The 1961 film Breakfast at Tiffany's has one of the most iconic opening scenes of all time, with Audrey Hepburn as Holly Golightly dressed to the nines in a black dress and pearls standing outside the famed jewelry store first thing in the morning. The Givenchy frock she wore popularized the concept of the little black dress. But this actually isn't the only major trend that Hepburn can be credited for. She popularized wearing ballet flats with slim-cut pants, as seen in 1954's Sabrina, as well as in other photos.
Good night, Mr. Larrabee. I'm sorry I can't stay to do the dishes.
She also paired cigarette trousers with loafers in the 1957 film Funny Face. It's really saying something that many of these trends continue to be popular today. Number 2. The Rachel hairdo. Jennifer Aniston.
Rachel, how did this happen? I don't know, I just kind of ran into him last night. Where? At his apartment. Is this juice?
If only we had the numbers on how many people asked their hairdressers for this haircut in the 90s. Friends became hugely popular shortly after it began airing, and Jennifer Aniston was one of the show's breakout stars.
And then we took a walk down to Bendel's, and I told him not to, but he got me a little bottle of Chanel.
In the second half of the first season, she debuted a haircut that quickly became known as the Rachel. Conceived by hairstylist Chris McMillan, it's a heavily layered look that adds tons of volume and went well with Aniston's highlights.
What? All this time? Well, I've got to talk to him.
It may come as no surprise that the actress herself is allegedly not a fan of the style, and doesn't necessarily relish being constantly associated with it. Oh well, we still love it.
Just for the record, when everyone was getting the Rachel, I got the Phoebe. Anyway, do you think you know which celebrity tops our list? Let's take a look at some honorable mentions, and then we'll see if you're right. But I will give you a clue. It's hot.
Peter Pan collars. Alexa Chung. She makes this fussy neckline look cool. Hammer pants. MC Hammer. Hammer time.
Yo, I told you, you can't touch this.
Leather and eyeliner. Joan Jett. Her badass rocker style has persisted for decades. Boho Style. The Olsen twins. They made the bag lady look chic. Shutter shades. Kanye West. Could he even see?
Let's get lost tonight. You could be my black Kate Moss tonight.
Number 1. Velour tracksuits. Paris Hilton.
Let's talk about the Juicy Couture tracksuit.
It's hard to think about velour tracksuits without conjuring up images of famed heiress Paris Hilton. The Simple Life star championed this trend, which was everywhere back in the early 2000s.
I have an entire closet that's only Juicy Couture. It's somewhere I go in every single day and just put on my juice.
And surprisingly enough, thanks to the COVID-19 pandemic, the sporty yet comfy outfit looks like it's actually coming back in style, whether you like it or not. Paris Hilton was a fashion icon in other ways too, popularizing the trend of using a dog as an accessory.
No hair. My cell phone. Your cell phone.
Back in the early and mid-aughts, the socialite brought her Chihuahua Tinkerbell with her everywhere, and continued to carry dogs around for years to come. Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from MsMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.